This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. Did the San Antonio Spurs fucked up when they got rid of Kawhi Leonard? When I say get rid of Kawhi Leonard, you have to understand, and I'm going to put it in its proper perspective. It's not that they literally got rid of Kawhi Leonard. I have to spell that out because you're dealing with Rudy Poo and Plum brains. You're dealing with thereby dodo heads. So you have to spell things out. What I mean by that is them letting Kawhi Leonard go. Those guys are idiots. I saw Kawhi Leonard's special talent. He was going to be that cornerstone player for the San Antonio Spurs at this point. But Greg Popovich let his ego get the best of him. See, certain players, you have to understand that your coaching style has to adjust. Poetry moment, folks. This is why when people sit here and say that Greg Popovich is greater than Phil Jackson, I laugh. I damn near scoff at that because they don't understand basketball. The reason why Phil Jackson is the greatest, and he's greater than a Red Auerbach, or he's greater than a Greg Popovich, and this is why I rank Pat Riley number 2, is because Pat Riley to a lesser degree can do this, but not as efficient as Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson can adjust accordingly to the personalities that are in front of him. There's no coach that can do that like him. People underestimate Phil Jackson, man, and they underestimate the personalities that he had to coach. They underestimate how big those egos were and how he had to get them to galvanize to one mission and one goal, which is to win an NBA championship. And he made them look at life perspective and things beyond basketball to achieve that goal. You guys don't understand, man. You have to be a deep thinker, man. And you have to have the blinders outside removed from your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You know how to remove the mote from your eye? You're going to have stuff removed from your eyes in order for you to understand the magnitudes and the full weight and gravity of what I just said. Y'all got to start reading books, man. That's the thing. See, it's not about your physical health. It's about your mental health, man. Y'all got to get y'all brain power up. Because I'm noticing that with a lot of Rudy Poo and Plum brains, the dodo heads. They don't have no brain power. They lack in those neuron receptors, man. They're not clicking on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, their subconscious is tart. And their consciousness, their state of being able to hit levels of consciousness, because there are levels to this stuff, and the transmigration of the consciousness. Let me not go there, because if I start going there, then it's going to be leagues and shoulders above what y'all can comprehend. But let me put it in layman's terms. Here's the lamest facts. You have to look at things on the surface, and you have to be able to look at it underneath the surface. A lot of times folks look at things above the surface. They don't look at things underneath the surface. Tony Parker, you were wrong, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You was trying to come with the old school approach. Look, man, if I had something that was more severe than you, how come if I could play, how come you couldn't play? But you were questioning this man's heart. And you have to understand, Kawhi Leonard is like the last player to do that. It's not like this man did not deliver you guys anything. You're talking to a guy that delivered you guys a finals MVP and a finals. And he locked down LeBron James in the 2014 NBA Finals. Come on, Tony Parker. That's too much slide to the mouth. So if the man is sitting there telling you that he believes his injury is credible and he can't play, you're not in his body. And folks have to understand that. When it comes to injuries, there's a fine line there. You can't mess with people and NBA injuries because you're not in their body. And I get it. There's some people out there that like to fake injuries, like let's shit show a toxic as fuck environment. We know he likes to fake shit. But Kawhi Leonard, when has he ever been a guy who says something and then it's a fallacy? When has he been ever been a guy to make up some shit because it sound good? All I've seen him do is keep his head down. You know what I'm saying? He's not humble. He gives the impression that he's humble, but he's not. Keep his head down and just focus on what he does best, his craft, basketball. He's delivered for you guys. Defensively, he's been your best two-way player when he was on the Spurs. He was locking people down, man. Delivering y'all NBA championships. Making y'all go to multiple finals appearances because of his defensive intensity and because of what he brought. Because remember, you were dwindling, Tony Parker. Manu Ginobili was dwindling. Tim Duncan was dwindling. So you had that young guy, that young thoroughbred that was keeping you guys afloat. But everyone in that Spurs organization, from top to bottom, they screwed up. They didn't understand what they had. And yes, Kawhi Leonard taking the Raptors to the NBA Finals, that's Kawhi Leonard's ultimate way of saying, you idiots, you fucked up. Because I wasn't trying to lead that situation. You could tell Kawhi Leonard is loyal, but he has his limit. And if you go against that limit, he's going to leave. And they put his backs against the rope. When you're going to question him and you're going to go talk to the team doctors, then you're going to have all these old school players come and talk to him. I mean, come on, how much disrespect. I've never seen you guys do that with Tim Duncan. Never seen you do that with Tony Parker. Never seen you guys do that with Manu Ginobili. But you're going to do that with Kawhi Leonard? And see, this is what I'm talking about when I tell people Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich are not on the same level. Because Phil Jackson would have adjusted to that. If Kawhi Leonard would have told him he's injured, Phil Jackson would have worked around it. That's what separates a Phil Jackson from a Greg Popovich. You dodo heads. You brain full of mush and you brainwash followers. So hear me and hear me well. Take out your notepads and scribble. Because I'm teaching and I'm preaching right now. Kawhi Leonard sent a reverberating message to the San Antonio Spurs. He let their ass know, you fucked up. Look at what I was able to do. I could have been leading your team right now against the Golden State Warriors in a Western Conference Finals. That would have been an arduous one, mind you. Nah. Y'all didn't understand the magnitudes of talent that y'all had. Y'all let me go. And look what I'm doing in Toronto. See, that's what separates Kawhi from a LeBron. Kawhi went from one conference to the other and still dominated. Whew. He went from one conference to the other and still did his thing. LeBron James went from one conference to another. He couldn't even make it to the playoffs. You see what I'm talking about? This is why you have to put respect on Kawhi Leonard's name. He ain't no damn Kawhi Jordan. Anybody that says that, you getting ethered and fucking murked. But Kawhi Leonard is a special player in this era. There's no debating that. And right now, because I respect basketball, Kevin Durant has not been playing. So Kawhi Leonard has been promoted to the best player in the game right now because of the way he's playing at the level he's playing at. Not because he's better than Kevin Durant. It's because he's active and he's playing the best right now. See, I like to keep everything in its truest and most properest perspective because that's how I roll out here in these NBA streets. No one's rolling like me because people get caught up in all sides of the angles. And so sometimes when you do that, you backtrack and then you sound like a hypocrite. People get caught up in trying to, be too much of an encyclopedia. Because then when you do that, what happens is sometimes you don't sit back and just see the commonest sense of things for what they are. But see, me, that's what I am, a truth teller. So I'm always going to look at everything in its realest perspective. I'm not going to be sitting here looking at it all over the place. I don't got time for all that. I leave those who are subject matter experts at doing that to do that. Like my boy, Lewis Basketball Network, shout outs to him. He's great at doing that. So I leave that to him. He's the subject matter expert. Ain't nobody encyclopedia in this thing better than him. So props to him. All sides of the angle, that's D. Jefferson. That's Speaking Mind Sports Talk. I leave that to him. He's a subject matter expert with that. And he's second to none in that regard. And they're very efficient at that. Now, you guys might think that whatever I just said prior to that was a dig against them. No, it wasn't a dig against them. It was a dig against people that are not them. But like I said, people will sit there and take somebody's words and think, oh, you talking about, no. It's not them. It's people that are not them. The brain full of mush and the brainwashed dodo heads. And if you fit that category, it's you. That's who I'm talking about. Because they are not, these two right here, Lewis Basketball Network and D. Jefferson, they're not being stringed like puppets. So they don't have to take offense to what I'm saying. It's folks that are being strung like puppets that take offense to what I'm saying. Because remember, you guys have been beguiled, betwixt, and bamboozled. So you need me to proselytize your ass, to convert you into something that is called a true and a rare basketball NBA purist. And that's what I'm doing right now. You guys have to see what I'm talking about here. This is why Phil Jackson is leagues and shoulders above all NBA coaches, because he knows how to coach different personalities. To be able to do that, you have to have a high degree of skill in coaching. Come on, man. I'm putting y'all on comprehension in $1 million game. So like a turkey, gobble that thing up, man. Because I'm giving y'all real shit here. The San Antonio Spurs fucked up. And Kawhi Leonard, each and every time he steps on that court, he's going to remind their ass that shit. That's a special player. Because he's doing something that I haven't seen since the old school. He's playing two sides of that basketball on a level that's ridiculous. Because you guys don't understand in basketball. You know, because when I play street ball, I know it because I used to do it, man. I used to be the man on the court, dominate motherfuckers. Shit, my brother Richie Rich and Big Dave would tell you, man, I ain't play. I dominated both sides of the damn basketball court at the highest fucking levels. I was damn near embarrassing college players, borderline NBA players. Man, don't get me started, man. I was something sick. I would sit there and a game would go to 21. I'd be the one that get what, 17, 18 points from the team, dog. And then I turn around and lock down the best player on the other side of the court. Get all in his head. See, y'all don't understand me, man. I was a pest on that damn court. So I was putting as much defensive intensity as offensive intensity. So I understand when somebody's a two-way player and what they bring to the table, man. Because that's not easy. And that's a rare breed right there. That's why I salute the Kevin Durant's of the world. That's why I salute the Kawhi Leonard's of the world. Because them two, they separate themselves from the pack. Ain't nobody in the league touching them two. So San Antonio Spurs, you get the biggest higgity hush of the fucking day. This is He Knows His Sport. Check it out.